Broncos. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Broncos Scoop. My name is Dakari. I'm a transfer student currently in my senior year. I'm a psychology major and a student assistant of Project Caminos. Lately, we've conducted interviews from various departments on campus to broadcast some key information for you all. And today, you'll hear even more information about a program that will further enrich your experience as a Bronco. Have you heard about the EOP program? Well, if you haven't, today's your lucky day, as I will interview two very passionate representatives of the EOP program who are eager to share information that'll help you become a member of this community. And if you're already familiar with the program, our hope is that you'll take away some new information that you can share with your peers. Without further ado, please meet Maria and Thavery.
Hello there, future Broncos and Broncos. My name is Maria Angelica Ruiz. I serve as the EOP Outreach and Admissions Counselor here at Cal Poly Pomona. I am also a proud alum and EOP alum of this very program. I always share with students that I am homegrown. So it is this very program that assisted me in reaching my undergrad degree. And I'm so grateful and feel so blessed to have had the program, but more importantly, the people behind it.
Hello, hello, future Broncos. Thanks for having us. My name is Thavery. I serve as the coordinator for Cal Poly Pomona's EOP Admissions and Enrollment Services unit. So I've been at Cal Poly Pomona for a good number of years, and I'm also a proud product of the CSU system, having completed my undergraduate at Fullerton and graduate level work at Cal State Long Beach, and also a proud EOP alum with Cal State Fullerton.
Welcome, welcome. I'm so eager to have you both on. I've been anticipating this interview for a while now, so I'm thankful we're finally here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. So before we begin the interview portion, Maria and Thavery shared a video with me of EOP's 50th anniversary celebration last year, and it features some of the trailblazers of this program from the 1960s, and they share about the history and the mission of EOP. So please enjoy some of these audio clips from this video to help you understand the importance of a program such as this one.
During the 60s, with issues of the Vietnam War, civil rights, recognizing the racism and the barriers that were preventing communities of color from being able to move forward. And education was seen as a critical civil right that was being denied. As students, we were leading the vanguard of social change throughout the world, and seeing the role that students played in fighting the war in Vietnam, fighting for civil rights, fighting for empowerment of communities, not just in the US, but throughout the world, connecting with students from Europe, from Asia, from South America. We were a movement that was creating revolution.
It was all about maintaining some accountability between the institution and its commitment to the communities it's supposed to serve. We started looking at people who had need to go to school, and we had the ability to educate them at the level they should be. We put together conferences for high school counselors. They assumed that we were only concerned about providing money for people, but no, we told them it's a broad-based program that provides tutorial and academic support, and then informing people as to what the academic process was about. But if you haven't had a history in your family of people going to college, they don't know what to expect or how to deal with it, or what their responsibilities are at that time. So to help them get through it, we used to have parent orientations where we would orientate them to what their students were getting into. A lot of students came with so much self-doubt that it wasn't a question of them being able to perform because they didn't have the skills. They just were able to perform because they weren't comfortable in the environment. There were instructors that flat out denied, I'm not going to have any EOP students in my class.
I came in as a special admit, and I was in the first 100 group of students that got accepted at Cal State LA in the fall of 1969. They taught us about the university, the rules and regulations. They also had us going to a 1-week orientation, which would be summer bridge program. I had the first generation jitters. I didn't think I belonged there.
When EOP started, I think students of color were probably, I don't know, less than 10% of enrollments on campuses. And so it's a very different world. If you were a Black student in the late 60s or an Asian student, you probably knew the other students you would see walking around kind of thing. But most of the other people we went to school with were not given this opportunity. And I think those, particularly students of color, were the ones that continued to see that this is not just something that we're doing just as part of growing up, but this is something just to represent what the future of our communities needs to have people standing up for. If we were going to create change in society, that it was up to our generation to be at the forefront, to challenge authority, to challenge the existing establishment, and to create that change. We were all in early 20s doing these things. We did not have role models. It was uncharted territory. And so we had to make up things as we were going. And so it was a challenge to be able to do that.
We kind of learned on the fly. We were doing stuff that later became innovative freshman year experience programs, learning communities, tutorial centers were not just one-on-one tutoring, but study groups. There was nobody doing academic advisement. Peer mentors who were a year ahead of us or 2 years ahead of us.
The Summer Bridge program, the Educational Opportunity Program, transformed how campuses serve students. That's how dramatic it was.
All right, ladies, let's go ahead and dive in. So first things first, we know that colleges use abbreviations and things like religiously. So can you share what EOP stands for?
Sure, and you're so correct. There are abbreviations left and right on our campuses. So EOP stands for Educational Opportunity Program.
Are there any qualifications students must meet for admittance to the program?
Yes, students must go through a number of our what's we call EOP guidelines. So let me go over the guidelines that is required for all applicants to qualify through essentially our check marks, our check off list. So first and foremost, all students who apply into EOP must be an undergraduate student, meaning entering into college or university for their first time, pursuing their bachelor's degree. So it's only for undergraduates. We do not have a program for graduate level students. In addition to that, we also require that students be eligible for our EOP income guideline, which is something that the CSU sets. It's a standard for all 23 campuses. It's not just Cal Poly. And it is a value based on whether the students is dependent, independent, family income, family size. There's a whole formula that's used to determine that. And there is an actual income chart that gets posted or is released to us, and we post it every year on our website. It's also available through the CSU EOP website as well. Students also have to be a California resident or be able to verify their California residency by way of what's called in-state tuition status. So if you're a dreamer or undocumented students, you are also eligible to apply as long as you're able to provide needed documentation to verify in-state tuition status. You also have to be first-time applicants to the CSU system, meaning if you're an entering transfer student, this would be the opportunity for you to apply, or if you're a first-time entering student from a high school, this would be the opportunity for you to apply. You only have this window to do that for consideration. Once the student is already enrolled in any CSU campus, let's say they've started one semester and they're hearing about, this raving program about EOP from their friends and others, and they're like, oh, I want to be part of the program now. Well, sorry, but it's too late at that point. So we really, really want to get it out there that you have to apply during this application cycle of the CSU application. And the other criteria that we use to determine eligibility is first generation status. which means that neither of your natural or adopted parents received a 4-year college degree. So we do get a lot of questions in regards to clarifying what that really means beyond this level is we get a lot of students who ask us, if my older sibling or another sibling is also in college, do I still qualify? Yes, absolutely, because we look at your siblings as your peer being the same generation, right? So you're still considered first generation, so you would qualify. We only look at your parents' level of education in determining your first generation status. And students do have to meet all these criteria in order to be qualified for our program. And the process, in addition to the income eligibility guidelines, is the final and most important. Well, all the guidelines are important, but our final stage is we do need to verify your income. And that would be by way of the federal financial aid application, which is FAFSA, or the California Dream Act application. That is the formal application that our office utilizes to determine the official income verification process to determine students' eligibility. So it's really, really important that not only that students have to apply for EOP in the CSU application process, but you must also complete either the FAFSA or the California Dream Act.
Yeah, that's important to know that you have to, apply before you actually get in so that students know. That's a good thing while we're doing this now, so that prospective students, they know if you're interested, check off the box on the application so that you can be considered for the program.
Absolutely.
Thank you too for sharing about the first gen, because I was actually confused about that myself. I didn't understand that I've been a first gen student this whole time. I didn't find out my senior year that I've been a first gen, because I thought since my sister is already graduated from college that I'm not first gen anymore. But as you said, you look at your parents and yeah, I've been a first gen this whole time.
Oh my gosh, Dakari, you could have been an EOP student. Well,
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much. This is why we're getting this information out there. Awesome.
Yes, for the next students that are going to come in.
That's right.
Definitely. So can you give us a glimpse into the application process?
Sure. So the application process actually begins through Cal State Apply. So step one, as students are actually launching their Cal State Apply application, they will create an account, create their application, and select the colleges that they're interested in applying to, hopefully one of them being Cal Poly Pomona. And let me say this, a little pro tip that we always share with students is students get super excited and they see Cal Poly and they click on it. Guess where it's going? Cal Poly SLO. So it's going to San Luis Obispo, not Cal Poly Pomona. So heads up, students, if you're interested in being a Bronco, our school code is 001144, but look for that magic word that says Pomona, Cal Poly Pomona. But yeah, that's where it begins. And the EOP application is actually embedded inside the Cal State Apply application. So it's super easy to find. And students will find it under support information. That's what the tab is titled. And there is one magical question that says, are you interested in applying to the EOP program, the Educational Opportunity Program? And there's three answers. There's three possibilities. You could say yes. And if you do so, right there and then the portal will open up to the application process and you can actually begin your EOP application by answering questions about yourself, your parents or guardians, their financial status, their occupation, historical perspective, as well as a biographical section, because we want to get to know the student. We want to know who you are. And there is a 2,500 word cap limit. So I always joke with students, I don't want to read a Harry Potter novel. Just tell me who you are. Tell us about yourself. Tell us how we can serve you. And I know that in this session today, we're going to cover what our resources are, but certainly once students get to know who we are, and the services that we provide, they can see themselves utilizing these services. And that's what makes it so special, because they can tell us their story and how we can come together and make this possible for them and assist them in this journey, this college education of theirs. So that is where they will find the EOP application. It also requires 2 online recommendations. And this portion, we always encourage students, number 1, make a list, get a paper pen and just start jotting down names of teachers, mentors, counselors, coaches, anyone who can speak to your academic success and who's so excited to support you in this next chapter of your education. Make a list, check it twice, and then you actually, the second piece to that is that we tell students to ask the individual, right? So for example, if I'm the student and I'm asking, I think of Thavery as one of my recommenders, I'm going to put her on my list, and then I'm going to go to Thavery and ask her, tell her about what it is that I'm applying. Why am I excited to be a part of EOP? What campuses I'm applying to, so that she's informed, and then she could say, yes, I'm willing to do that for you. Great. Then that's when the students will input the recommender's first and last name, email address, and that's it. Once they hit the submit button, the nice thing about this whole process is that it is online. Mm-hmm. The recommenders will get an email saying so-and-so is applying to the EOP program. Would you, here is the next part, get the recommendation form done. So that's the concept inside Cal State Apply. That's where students will find the EOP application, and certainly, important to adhere to deadlines. That's the other piece to this, is that as November 30th approaches, that is when the Cal State Apply application is due. And we encourage students truly that if they want to apply to EOP, get it done now. Just say yes and apply. Now, Thavery did mention that there's the income portion requirement. And I always tell students, listen, if you are unsure, what the exact situation is at home, parents, guardians, sometimes they don't want to talk about those things. That's private. And that you want to apply to the program and be a part of this program, apply anyway. Let the process take its course. I'd rather you let us make that decision versus a student excluding themselves beforehand. Oh my gosh. And then later realizing I would have totally qualified. And then by then it's too late, because once a matriculated student is at the CSU, at any one of our 23 campuses, by the way, not just Pomona, any of the 23 campuses, it's too late to apply. So we definitely want to get the word out, apply. So there is that magical question on the Cal State Apply application. Students also have the option to say, yes, I am interested in applying, but I'm going to come back to this portion of the application a little later. Well, that's awesome. Students, get a Post-it, put it on your refrigerator, put it on your bathroom mirror, put it in the closet, put 3 reminders on your phone, because things are happening. You are busy as an incoming freshman or an incoming transfer student. Life is happening.
Yes.
You may be interested and excited to apply and say, yeah, I'm going to come back and finish these questions later, because you technically have until January 15th of 2022 to complete the EOP portion of the application for Cal Poly Pomona. And if that's the case, you want to remember to go back. We've had situations, Thavery and I, it breaks our hearts when we have to, students call us to investigate and say, well, what's the status of my EOP application? What's going on? And we pull it up, and then we see that they answered, yes, I'm interested in applying, but I'm going to come back. And then they never did. Oh, heartbreaking. So students, please go back and remember to complete the application. And the third and final option is no, I'm not interested in applying, and no hard feelings. that's not going to have any impact on your university application, but please think twice before saying no, because this is an amazing program that can provide support and services and people cheering you on for you to get to the finish line.
Yes, beautifully said. So please remember to get your recommendations, and you'll learn when you get to college that networking is very important. So having those outlets of people who can advocate on your academic success is very important. And please, yes, November 30th is approaching. So please remember to get your applications in. And if you do decide to return to the EOP application, as Maria said, please leave yourself a sticky note wherever you frequent so that you can see it. And then when you finish the application, you can take it away.
Oh my goodness, yes. And can I also mention a couple of other very important deadlines as well? So definitely the January 15th deadline, right? We're going to put stickies everywhere, folks. We're going to put them everywhere. But remember that we also require 2 recommendation forms, and those forms, the deadline for those forms for Cal Poly Pomona is January 31st of 2022 as well. And with the requirements that Thavery mentioned earlier is our financial aid, your FAFSA or your California Dream Act application, and that deadline is March 2nd. But I know all of you out there are super eager beavers out there, and you're not going to wait till the last minute. So the application did open up on October 1st, and it is best to complete your financial aid application early. Don't wait until January or February. Sometimes there is a misconception out there that students say, oh, well, I have to wait until my parents complete their taxes and then I can complete my financial aid application. No, that is incorrect, folks. What you can do, students, is complete your financial aid application and estimate your parent or guardian's financial information. Estimate to the best of your ability, including yours, because if you work as a student, you've got to include your income as well. And you want to estimate. And then if changes occur, things happen, which they will, we know they do, then you can go back. The beautiful thing about the financial aid application is that that is the one and only application that you'll be able to go back and edit, update, provide the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships with the most current and up-to-date information so that they can process your application and provide you with an award letter. And it'll give you a better idea and picture of what you'll be able to afford, because that is so important, right, Dakari? I mean, now,
yes,
in a higher level education, it is up to students to have that responsibility of paying for college, which we haven't thought about before, right? As a Gen student, high school was free. We didn't have to pay for that. Our community college students, our transfer students, they know they've been experiencing a little bit of that, but definitely at a different cost. The cost of community colleges is half or even less than a CSU. So make sure all of that said is that you remember these deadlines: November 30th for your CSU application, January 15th for your EOP application, January 31st for your 2 online recommendation forms, and March 2nd for your financial aid.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you, Maria. So once students are accepted into the EOP program, what are some of the benefits or opportunities that are awaiting them?
Yes, so as you all heard through the video clip about how EOP, or Educational Opportunity Program, has been established in the late 1960s, right? The core mission of serving our first generation low income students still rings true till this day among all 23 CSU campuses. And so how we operate, so let me backtrack a little bit. The core mission of all EOP and all 23 CSU campuses is the same as far as I mentioned, serving first generation low income students with a comprehensive access and equity program mindset to help students be successful in their college journey. And so what I'd like to share is that How it operates might look a little different from campus to campus, but what I will be sharing today is how we operate here, or how our services look here at Cal Poly Pomona. So I have 6 core areas that I will share. One is summer bridge or transfer bridge program, financial assistance, study room or study spaces, EOP community engagement, EOP tutorial services, and academic advising. So let's start off with summer bridge or transfer bridge program. So right before you all enter your fall semester, your first fall semester term, all first-time entering students who've been admitted to EOP are invited to participate in summer bridge. So summer bridge is for our first year college students coming from the high schools. So this allows students the opportunity to experience a class. They're enrolled in a unit-bearing class, typically our ethic and studies class. In addition to that, there's a variety of community building activities. There's information regarding university policies and procedures. On any given year, it could be a 3-week to a 5-week program. For the past couple of years, it's been hybrid, right, in light of circumstances, but hopefully we'll be able to move into in-person, where students would have the experience of a portion of residential living on campus, and then commuting for the remaining weeks. And think of it as like an extended orientation.
Yeah.
I think 6.0. we
Yeah, definitely not 2.0.
Yes. I said 6 because that's my favorite number. Any case, so for our transfer students, they have the opportunity or are invited to the transfer bridge program. Now for our transfer students, we recognize you've all been down the road, down the block a few times, right? You're used to the ins and outs of how to navigate the different services and resources available. But it does look different from campus to campus, right? So once you are here at Cal Poly Pomona, we want to make sure that you are well equipped to navigate the services and resources at Cal Poly Pomona. So we typically offer a 2 or 3 day series or day sessions for our transfer bridge to help you with the transitioning into Cal Poly Pomona. So again, we cover anything from resources and services to answering your questions about different things that you may not have been answered during orientation, and then we get students also connected to their assigned EOP advisor.
And can I also add to summer and transfer bridge is not mandatory. So if you are extended an invitation to be an EOP student here at Cal Poly Pomona, you will also be extended an invitation to participate in these transition programs the summer before you begin. But remember, it's a commitment. We're looking for students that are willing to come join us for 5 weeks for summer bridge or 3 full days for transfer bridge. That's a big commitment. And you say, well, why the discrepancy? Why is there such a big difference? Well, as Thavery alluded, our transfer students are in a different place in mind, heart, body, and soul. Y'all have been around, like she said, y'all have been around the block a time or two, and you're like, listen, I just want to come in, get this done, and get my degree. So because of that, we have purposely thought of you all in mind. With each of these services that Thavery will be sharing with you, please know that we have you at the forefront of our minds. Having been a student myself in this very campus, I was so blessed to receive these services, but it was the people's hearts. It was the people that really made it incredibly special. But it is these services that we have each of you in mind. And the summer bridge, of course, it's a 5-week program. Because listen, high school students, y'all are like, woo, let's get college going. So, and we want you to have fun. It is a little bit of an academic boot camp, but it is a lot of fun. We also include the campus experience. So definitely wanted to add those couple of pieces and the differences between those two.
Yeah, thanks for adding that, Maria. Yes, this program provides a unique opportunity for students to become, as mentioned, acquainted with campus departments, resources, And also, you know, develop friendship early on, right? Like what
Yes.
better way to get connected with other students who are going to start with you before the fall. So I always like to share with students, you know, as a summer bridge or transfer bridge participant, right before you start in the fall, you'll have a good 20, 15 like friends that you've already made, even more if you're like a social butterfly. But at any rate, it gives you the opportunity to connect with other students and also to get to know our staff, right?
Yeah, building that community before you get there is really important.
Right. And you'll get to feel much more at ease, I would say, right before you start fall. Secondly is the financial assistance aspect. So all EOP students who qualify based on their income would qualify for the program. But in addition to that, in regards to the EOP grant portion, the student has to qualify within what's called an expected family contribution range of 0 to 1,500. So while a student could qualify based on the income, they may not necessarily qualify for the grant portion. So that's really critical to know or be mindful, is that not all EOP students would qualify for the EOP grant portion. And in addition to that, we do make it a priority for those who qualify with the EFC of 0 to 1,500, in that if you are first time entering a freshman student or transfer, we award those first time entering students first, and then we make our way to the rest of the EOP students, because on any given year, we have anywhere from 23 to 24 active Cal Poly Pomona EOP students. So that's quite a bit, and we have more students than our pot of money to spread. So, but we make it a priority for our first time entering students to have funds awarded to them first. Thirdly, we have a study room or study space that is dedicated for students to provide, you know, some quiet area for focused study, or just, you know,
Some fun.
and you know, connect with other students from other classes. We are reorganizing another space to create more of just a general community, like EOP lounge, which would allow students to, you know, decompress, you know, between classes, or just hang out because they're just waiting for the next class. Let me just review my notes and get prepared for the next session, or, you know, just chit chat with some other students who are just hanging out. The fourth is the community, EOP community engagement opportunity. So we have a team of individuals in our department who works diligently in creating like various opportunities to help students get connected to be part of the EOP community. We do have the EOP Student Union organization, and so in collaboration with them, the transitions team or community building team works closely with them to create fun events, team building activities. We give away a lot of prizes, swags. And so come join us, right? Get to know other students within the EOP community. But again, our staff are there present, you know, working these events, and others attend as well to connect with our students. So come join us and have some fun. This college is serious, right? It's all about like academics and doing well, but we also need to have fun, right? As a way to decompress.
Yes.
And the fifth area is our tutorial services. So EOP students have unlimited access to EOP tutorial services. And so we do have an official term or location, and we are rebranding many of our spaces. So our new EOP tutorial service is called EOP Learning Center. So through the Learning Center, students are partnered with what we call, instead of the traditional tutor, we have what's called study strategists. So these study strategists have been trained and well prepared to not only help students understand the contents of their courses, but also learn how to be more effective students, how to be better learners, right? So for example, study strategists will help students determine like your learning styles. How do you learn best, right? Because if you're more of an auditory person as opposed to, you know, visual, then let's tap into those skill sets and see how you can utilize those strengths to your advantage and carry those skill sets to all classes that you will have so that you'll be successful in all classes, not just, I'm going to show you how to do this math problem and you're done with it. No, right? Learning is an ongoing, lifelong learning process, right? So learning is a process. And so we really want the learning starts, the goal of your connection and your relationship with your learning strategist is to help you be more effective students.
I love that. That's awesome. It's kind of like tailoring the study strategist is like tailoring your session specifically to you, like they're seeing how you learn so that they can teach you how to, build on that so that you're able to, how you said, take it to other courses and not just, okay, here's how you do this problem. Let's move on to the next problem. And that's it. It's more of an enriching experience, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, let's also look at it this way too. Like, we're paying money as students, right, to take courses and to receive a degree. Why would we want to just memorize information, regurgitate it back, and then be, okay, I guess I'm done, I'm going to walk away, and not have a foundation for the next class? So I believe, I know that our EOP Learning Center really dedicates, as Thavery has been describing, this approach of lifelong learning. And we want you to build those skill sets so that you can take on building blocks for the next class. So if you're going to take this calculus class, or whatever class you may be, as an EOP student, all you have to do is come and ask. Come visit the EOP Learning Center, tap on our QR code, set up an appointment with a strategist, and you're on your way. And how much does it cost, Thavery?
Zip, zero, free, nada, right? So as an EOP participant, you have full advantage of utilizing or requesting to meet with a study strategist to help you take full advantage of your academic success here at Cal Poly Pomona. So yes, very much tailored to each individual student's needs. So along with individual students' needs, we also have academic advising with our EOP unit. So essentially the way it works is all students who enter the university do receive an academic advisor at their academic home base. So let's say you enter as a communications major, you'll have an advisor in your college. Psychology major, whatever major you enter in, each college has designated academic advisors, and they're considered what's called your primary advisor. And I like to add that for EOP, you all have a bonus advisor. How great is that, right? You'll have an additional advisor. So our EOP advisors get assigned a caseload of students, of new entrant cohorts each fall. And through the academic advising experience, your academic advisor will help you navigate through maybe some of the questions that you have around policies and procedures. You're unsure about the major that you're currently in, right? They will coach you and walk you through different assessment tools and ways to really help you research and find that connection to your major and career. There's different workshops that are available for students. We have covered topics from financial aid, like understanding your financial aid package, how it all works, to how to manage all of that, right? Because some students may have a balance, after the tuition has been paid and things like that. And so we definitely don't want you to blow it off in Vegas over the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Saving what you have.
Yes.
Stretch those dollars throughout the semester
as much as you can.
Expenses, right? So money management is one of our key workshops that we offer. We also offer academic skills workshops, including like time management, study strategies, those sorts of things. And we also collaborate quite a bit with various campus partners to bring them onto our workshop series to cover other topics. It could be, career planning, interviewing. Recently, we just had a panel of EOP alum who shared about their graduate program experience. And so being able to talk about, I'm an EOP alum. I'm in your very shoes right now, but here I am in a grad program. And this is my journey, and students have the opportunity to ask questions and really learn from them. So that was really great to see our alum and sharing that experience.
I'd also like to share that with academic advising, we really, I mean, it is true. This is the beauty of EOP and its long history. We come from a tradition of people, and even back in the day, because I've been out of school for a hot minute now, and even back then, even when I was a student, academic advising, our advisors, and even it is true even today, our EOP advising team is full of heart, and it was heart back then. It continues to be heart today, and it will continue to be heart tomorrow in the future, because that's on the tradition that it was established. And quite honestly, when I think about my advisor, you know, she was a guiding post. It was a place of respite for me, a place where I could go, and if I had any questions whatsoever, it did not have to be about academic. Yes, I'm here in college because I want to earn my degree, but we are humans. We are human beings. We're brothers, sisters, daughters, mothers, fathers. We are more than just a student. And so I remember going to academic advising. It was about, how are you? And then it was, how are you doing in your classes? Because they both go hand in hand. And our team of advisors, but even the team as a whole, we're all in this together, and we work for the better of the student. It is always about the student. I hear our EOP director, Leticia Guzman-Scott, who is also an alum of this program. And when you hear her speak, she always speaks so passionately that we're here for you. We're here for the student. So when you consider applying to EOP and the services that we have to offer, please know that, again, each of these services, we have you at the forefront of our mind, and how can we best come alongside you to do this with you, not for you, but with you. Because our advisors and even as our staff, we want to provide options. A lot of times students, Thavery says this all the time, students don't know what they don't know. And unless we sometimes begin having those conversations with students, all of a sudden, you know, a light bulb goes on, and it's like, oh, I didn't think about it that way, or I didn't know that that was an option. I'll give you an example. Life happens, and let's say students are in it, and all of a sudden life takes you in a different direction, and you're like, well, what do I do now? Do I drop out of school? What do I do? I've got this thing happening in my life, whatever that thing may be. And you may not know that you have options to, you know what, press the pause button and take care of school, maybe, put a pause for a minute, and then come back, take care of what you need to take care of, and then come back stronger. That's just an example. But really our entire services we have the student at the front of our mind. So we hope that we've painted a good picture for you of what these services are and who we are as people as well.
Yeah, thanks for adding that. And so to bring it to full circle, EOP, we're proud to share that we are a comprehensive program, right? So as you can see, it starts from like the beginning of transition to helping students make sure, they get a better footing, right? At the beginning to start before the fall with our summer bridge or transfer bridge programs, to the financial assistance, to the tutorial services that's available through our learning center, and then bring it to full circle and having that connection with their EOP advisor to really help students have that connection and know that there's an EOP advisor they could go to for any questions, right? They're the go-to person, as Maria shared in her experience. So, with that, I just wanted to add that it also comes with the expectation that we ask students who participate in the program actively participate, right? It's going to be a relationship, a give and take. It's not a give from EOP. You're going to connect with your advisor. We have these services and resources available. meet us halfway and work with us. And really, we're here for you. And the goal to any journey and any path, you're going to have to put into in order to receive, in order to, how do I say, reap what you sow, right? Like you get out of the program what you will put into the program. So one of the things I always like to share in assessing or interviewing our potential students is that you're not just going to be a number who sits in our EOP list of 2,400 students. You're going to be an active participant, and these are expectations. So we do ask for full participation. Again, you will get what you put into the program.
Yes, as with anything. Just a few points I wanted to make. Just that one thing I really love about Cal Poly Pomona is the fact that all of the departments work with each other to ensure student success. Like how you said that you've had some of the other departments come and offer workshops about things that are aside from EOP or academics, just so that students can have like well-rounded information, like they have what they need, even if it's outside of EOP, just the way that the programs and departments on campus network with each other. It's always awesome to hear, so that students have what they need, whether it comes directly from EOP or if it's connecting with a department that EOP has a liaison with. It's always beautiful. And then the way people underestimate the power of how are you doing? And that is something that as college students, it's sometimes really important, even if it's just for 5 minutes, to sit there and just have someone hear how you're doing, just to, let it off of your chest, and then go into, okay, how's classes going? Because they are hand in hand, because if you're not doing well, your classes will lack. So it's amazing that they have that outlet at EOP for someone to ask them, how are you doing, aside from the academic portion of it. And then just the way you mentioned a really good point, and how sometimes we don't know what we don't know. It's really important in college to ask questions, but sometimes we have no idea what to ask. So that extra information, just to kind of get our brains moving and spark some ideas, is super important as well. Because I've had those moments, I don't know how many times, where it's like, I didn't know that.
And that's the beautiful thing about having conversations. It's about the people. It's about getting to know,
yes,
building that relationship. So students are encouraged to come see your EOP advisor. Come during office hours. We don't want to hear about when you're just doing bad or poorly or in trouble. Oh my goodness, no! Come tell us exactly. Come tell us that you got an A on that research paper, that you knocked out a midterm and you feel good about it. You're working on a DIY project. Who knows? You might spark, an idea for us.
yeah.
So it's about building those relationships, because you are not just a number. Really, when you come into our office, we want to know you by your name and know that you are, like I said before, you're a person. And yes, you're a student, but we know that you have other responsibilities as well that make you who you are.
Exactly.
Yes, a very strong community. So finally, how can listeners learn more about the program?
Oh, sure. So they can connect with us on our website. So when they go on to Cal Poly Pomona's website, if they go to the search engine, they can simply type EOP, and it should direct you to our Student Support and Equity Programs is our department name. So that's a long name. I'll say it one more time. It's Student Support and Equity Programs, also known as SSEP. There you go. There's another acronym for you.
They're everywhere.
Right? They're everywhere. And you'll get our homepage, and you can then look up our program. You'll be able to see prospective students. There'll be a tab on prospective students, which will cover the information that we covered in today's podcast, as well as a summer bridge link, a transfer bridge link, and other resources that are available through our website. That's one way. The other way that you can connect with us is through Instagram, through social media, and our handle is at EOP_CPP. And quite honestly, I think that through that, I think you'll get a really good feel of who we are, what kind of information we're putting out there for our students, what kind of activities we're putting on, what news events that are happening on campus or within our department specifically for our students. So that'll give them a good picture. And I also recommend that as students are looking at different campuses, I truly hope that you consider Cal Poly Pomona, but you really need to go to a campus that has what you need. It has to be the right fit. It has to feel right to you. It also has to have the right major. If we don't have the right major, if a campus doesn't have the right major, then that's obviously not the campus for you. But follow other campuses as well to kind of get a good feel, because I think that'll help a student determine, hey, Cal Poly Pomona, I like what they have to, I like what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because remember that EOP is at all 23 of our CSU campuses. And as Thavery was mentioning earlier, our services, these are the services that we have, right? Each of us, think of it, I'll give you another corny example, but it is like going to a dinner party. All right, so the 23 campuses are homes, and you go to a dinner party, one campus is going to feel different than another campus.
Yes.
So you may have one specific meal at one campus, and then you're going to have something totally different at another campus. But the purpose is the same. We are here to serve our first generation college students that meet the EOP income guidelines. Please consider having these support services in your academic, and higher education as part of your college journey, and apply. I hope folks out there really take the time to click yes and complete the EOP application, because you have more to gain. And really just a little bit of, sometimes people say, oh, well, I'm going to lose time, or I'm wasting my time completing this application. Really? Are you really losing time? I don't think so. I would beg to differ, only because it's good practice. As you're completing applications, you're going to complete applications many more times, whether it's a scholarship, a job application, an internship, whatever the case may be, it's good practice. So I hope you all consider being a part of EOP here at Cal Poly Pomona, or at another EOP at any one of our sister campuses. Again, our mission is the same, to serve our students.
Also, I wanted to add another way to reach us is you can email our office. We're also available via Zoom. If you'd like to meet with us via Zoom, feel free to request. In your email, make sure you provide us with your full name, a phone number, and your active email, because sometimes students do switch back and forth. And so make sure that we have all that information, so we'll be able to connect with you in a timely manner. Again, EOPADMIN@cpp.edu. Again, EOPADMIN@cpp.edu.
And certainly a phone number as well. Our number is 909-869-3362 is our general number. And we're also available if you email us. We'd be happy, either one of us would be happy to meet with you via Zoom, now that we've got that technology available to us. And that's a nice way to meet with you, because then we could share our screen and provide you with other resources, and actually show you where to find things, because sometimes things are hard to find.
Yes, it's hard to navigate sometimes.
Yeah.
But in addition, right, like I could see students being out of area, right, being able to zoom in, and you don't have to physically come on campus or try to find a ride. So I think that's the convenience of that. So yay to technology. I really appreciate it.
Yes, definitely. Especially in our times now, technology is extremely important.
Yes.
Okay, so you both have shared a tremendous amount of information. And for all of you listening, like I said in the beginning, if you already knew about the program, hopefully you were able to take something today, take some new information back to some of your peers, and maybe all of you can huddle together and complete your applications together, It's always great to complete things with the community,
For sure.
So that's going to bring us to the end of our interview portion. Maria and Thavery, thank you so much. I appreciate your time and all the information you shared for prospective students.
Thank you, Dakari, for having us.
For sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for listening. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are today.
Whenever you are listening to this.
Whenever you're listening, yes.
Yes.